Coming up, tons of news for the American women, but where are the men? Super Rugby Americas is back. The WER and MLR are right around the corner. What should we expect from those competitions? Plus, the Sevens World Series comes to the East Coast, and our Eagles will look to get their first gold here on home turf. Welcome back. This is the Mall Street Journal. Hello and welcome to the Mall Street Journal, the podcast that brings you all the latest news and reviews for all things American rugby. We are part of the Global Gainline Network and can be found on all your usual platforms, including YouTube, Spotify, and iTunes. So if you haven't already, give us a like or a subscribe, tell a couple of friends about us, or if you really want to help us out, send us each a vintage Les Paul signed by Talia Brody. This is episode 21. Thank you for joining us. I'm your host for today, David Lawrence. I'm here once again with Kolya. Kolya, tell us, is it official? Did you survive February?
I did survive February. For those who aren't teachers, February is hell month. Like we have things like President's Day and such, but the rest of it, it's when all the standardized testing is starting up again. It's normally a very dreary month, so the kids are just bursting at the seams.
Yes, my partner lives the life. I'm immediately adjacent to the suffering. Not to mention the ridiculous winter we've had here. But just in the last 2 days, it's almost completely flushed out. It's just been incredible. So I'm done complaining at least about that for at least, a few minutes. Rugby Julia can't be here with us this evening. She's unfortunately crossed codes and is playing for the Gillaroos down in Australia. But I imagine we'll see her again soon when she inevitably switches back. Well, as I say, it's been a while, but things have been pretty quiet on the American rugby front until just recently. Got a number of things to look at today. As always, we do like to start with some news. Kolya, what have you got for us today?
So I've got a lot of stuff. I'll mainly from MLR, but I'll start with WER. If you remember last year, there was a whole thing with WER and its broadcast partner starting with DAZN and then that dropping
DAZN.
out. Now, WER has announced that they have a new broadcast partner, the Women's Sports Network, that will be streaming all of their games.
I believe for free. I think it's a you sign up thing.
Yeah, or from what I see, it seems to be on a bunch of like things like Roku or Fire TV. You go to the little live events thing from them, and then they show it.
Oh, interesting.
So it's not something you sign up for. It's just kind of there.
Oh,
Like it's part of
okay.
Tubi, it's part of Roku, it's part of Amazon Fire TV. You click the live events thing, and you just look.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And frankly, it couldn't possibly be worse than last year.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm really excited. The Banshees are playing right near me again. I'm probably going to get to it. 3 games is my goal this year. It seems like a spread out season, but maybe it's just my imagination. What else
Yeah.
do you got?
The other bit of WER news is I don't think they had made this official until about a month ago of them moving to this new format for where the schedule is
Mm,
and or in order to set it up with the international season. That is the reason they've given for why they've moved it.
hmm. Rugby needs to just stop juggling the schedules. It's every single year they say, oh, there's no room for another event, and then they move all the events.
Yes. Next, going into MLR, the biggest news is that the MLR and the Players Union have signed a collective bargaining agreement for this season.
Yep, seeing a lot of positive press about it.
Yes, seeing positive press, what will actually come of it, who knows? But being that that other struggling to semi-struggling leagues in the US are currently having arguments over collective bargaining. For example, USL, the second tier of soccer in the US, is on the verge of strike action.
Really.
Yeah. Yeah, and all of their kickoffs were delayed a minute in protest this past weekend.
Wow, interesting. Huh.
So,
I'm seeing good things on both sides with this, and it's funny too because the salaries in the MLR are pretty minuscule, and most of these players that it's very lucky that the NPC dovetails perfectly with the MLR season because a lot of these players immediately leave here after their last week in the MLR, and then they're in New Zealand for the next whatever it is 4 months, so they can actually make a living. Um, but yeah, when a league is struggling, who knows? It's funny. So my pal Phil, he does a show called the Jack's Rangers Show. It's like a Free Jacks dedicated podcast, and he likes to do fundraisers and things. As American sports fans, it's hard to imagine that the players need fundraisers, but they really do. So I helped him out on this past week. He did a 12-hour live broadcast from the Free Jacks headquarters, the building they call the Mint. It was really cool. Players, fans, coaches, staff. I ran a little trivia contest there and stuff. And basically, the idea is to raise money to get things like toilet paper and the things they're going to need in the apartment that they've never seen before when they get here. And so, anyway, it's an interesting place the league's in right now.
yes, I'm hopeful that it means that something like the Gilgronis can't happen again.
Yes. I'm told they immediately took aggressive action to ensure that, but then again, the
Yeah,
folding,
yeah,
anyway.
yeah, yeah. Then, in more positive MLR news, MLR for the first time has actually announced its championship before the season starts.
That's right.
Championship game will be played in Chicago on June 21st.
Oh, back to Chicago.
Yes, back to
It,
Chicago.
it's a really good venue. I was there for the final against Seattle. No, San Diego rather.
Mhm.
And it was a great experience.
Mhm.
It's nice. There's even a hotel basically on the other side of the parking lot of the stadium. It's like
Mhm.
that's very convenient.
That's convenient. Then, in maybe positive, maybe negative, I kind of feel it negative. MLR just introduced this referee review system thing to an ad with Nigel Owens doing the Margot Robbie scene from that movie whose name just disappeared.
Who would have known that he was available?
Yeah. And
If
this
if
this
he's allowed
this
to be
whole
in
thing
his
hurts
barn
my
while the
head.
camera's running, he will do anything.
Yes, yes. Like I love the guy. I when I was living in Wales, I got part of my ref accreditation system through him,
Really?
ref accreditation through him.
How so? Did you get to meet him?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, he was there for like the first hour.
He had videos to shoot, man.
Yeah,
No, I love him too. It's in retrospect, people have it seems like it has slowly dawned on people that he might not have been as acutely aware of all the laws of rugby as most officials are
yeah,
expected to be.
yeah, yeah. But this referee review system has or is basically something that MLR has come up with to replace the TMO. And it doesn't make it incredibly clear in the press release what exactly it is. But if you go to a website connected to MLR, it gives you a PDF. And I'm going to read from you or
Oh
to you
no.
this PDF,
Please, not the whole thing.
not the whole thing, that there are three key roles in this referee review system: the on field referee team, the in-stadium replay operator, who is, quote, a neutral league certified sports code analyst with appropriate game understanding, officiating experience, and law knowledge, and a match review coordinator who is there for, quote, oversight. And there are two types of referrals: the referee initiated review, which is from the on field team, where they can request a review on, quote, uncertain incidents, and they can only review within the scope of this protocol, or a team challenge, and teams will apparently have two challenges per game
With flag and everything, I think.
with flag, and quote, where a team believes a clear and obvious infringement may have occurred, aspects of play in the following laws may be reviewed within, quote, two phases of play. Only two
And then
phases of play.
and there's a
And
diagram.
then it lists a bunch of laws that this can fit under. Law 8, 10, 14, 15, 16, 18, 19, 21, 20, 11, and 18. And then another thing where foul play could be reviewed at any stage of the game between the last restart and before play restarts again.
Well, if the goal was to add several layers of complexity,
Yeah.
nailed it.
Basically what I think MLR is going for is they don't want a TMO coming in several phases after the incident and stopping things.
Mm,
But I fear is going to happen, what I fear is going to happen is that some off the ball stuff is going to get completely missed.
mm,
And because there's no longer a TMO watching things back, because how a TMO works in MLR, it might work differently elsewhere, but how it's been explained to me, how the TMO works in MLR is that they have a bunch of different feeds that are basically on a 3 second tape delay,
mm.
and that they're watching that 3 second tape delay while play is going on. But this in stadium referee consultant person
It's
has
very strange.
or can't jump in and say that something's happened. It has to be from either the referee or the team challenging. So if
Right.
something happens on the ball that's missed and it doesn't happen within two phases, there's going to be a problem. And I don't see how this is going to work.
I don't really understand why they're messing with this. It seems like the idea was to make it more like football where people can throw a flag.
Yeah,
I
that
don't.
one of the referees I know, not one of the big names, but one of the ones who's AR'd for a few MLR games, said that he is wondering if this is to mask financial issues regarding the TMO,
Mm,
like financial and technical problems with the TMO that some teams just aren't able, or an MLR isn't able to just have a dedicated TMO at every match.
right. I wouldn't
So
be surprised.
yeah, so this might be a way to mask it.
It's also true for me. The biggest problem with MLR officiating is the fact that I think it's true in our stadium. I think it's true at most of them. You can't hear the communication in the stadium. You can't
Yes.
most of the time.
And that's one of the things that this says that it's going to fix, is that it's going to be an announcement, or that when one of these reviews happens, it's going to be an announcement on the field. The ref is going to say what the original call was and then review it and then say what the new call is.
Hmm,
So that might fix that,
I guess. Guess
hopefully.
I'll find out in a few weeks.
And then the other two pieces of news: one, is Dylan Fawcett, USA Eagle, Chicago Hound, has announced his retirement
Yeah.
with a very, very nice, heartfelt letter posted about 6 days ago on social media. And then
He's one of the good
breaking
ones.
breaking late today, like an hour ago, Tonga Kofe has been signed by the Legion.
Really?
Yes. Remember, he was with Utah, then Leicester signed him. Now he's coming back to California.
Interesting. There's been a lot of people going to the Pro Day Deux, I've noticed just in the last couple of weeks as
Yes.
well. Let's see. I actually had one little bit of news as well. The Men's Rugby World Cup for 2027 in Australia has already sold over 750,000 tickets. Canada, Chile, and the USA are among the top 10 purchasing nations. So it's nice to see some, enthusiasm building here in North America.
Yeah, that is good to hear. I'm assuming it also helps that Australia decided to become decent again.
Depending on the week.
Yes, yes.
So a surprising amount of rugby to cover today. Super Rugby Americas has started back up. If you're new to this competition, it's an 8-team comp featuring four Argentinian clubs who all occupy the top four spots after four rounds. One team each from Chile, Uruguay, Brazil, and Paraguay. And that's how they are placed in descending order currently. Kolya, I'm obviously a big fan of the Capybaras, who are locked in a three-way tie for points with Las Pampas and Los Dogos. Are you following this competition at all?
I wish I could. I used to when it was on ESPN because it or for those from outside of our area, it was on our ESPN because of the American Raptors joining it.
Oh.
And then when the American Raptors went away, ESPN still held it and broadcast it for another year or so,
They
only in
probably just
Spanish.
didn't notice.
Yeah, only in Spanish. They of course didn't advertise it at all,
Right.
but you could watch matches in Spanish for a couple games each week.
Wow. ESPN used to
And it
have
was a
some really
fun
good
time.
rugby. They used to have both Super Rugby and what was then the Pro 14.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. But I have no idea how to watch it. I wish I could because South American rugby is fun.
Yeah,
Their
the
fans
kits
get
are great.
their fans get really into it.
Yes. Well, this could be a good one for the listeners out there. If any of you have discovered a way to watch this competition, please get in touch and let us know. And by the way, if you're just about to write an email that says get a VPN, yeah, we know that, but I've gone down the VPN path before and it has not gone well. So right around the corner is the newest, saddest, perhaps, iteration of Major League Rugby. My beloved Free Jacks will have a target squarely on their backs from the likes of Chicago. Kolya, there will be no Texan teams this season at all. Are you managing to get excited at all anyway?
Yeah, I'm excited. There's a bunch of like if you go on Texas Rugby social media, there's a bunch of discussion about who to support this year.
Ah,
And a lot of it falls into either Chicago, because that seems to be where the smart money is to get rid of the Free Jacks as the reigning champions, or just follow where the former Texas players are.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say I'm expecting the mood is probably anyone but New England.
Yes. Yes. That seems to be the biggest thing.
Well, I don't know if you know, we actually won the championship three times in a row. It's not just that we won it; it's that we won it three times in a row.
Yes. Yes.
um,
Nobody
with
can.
with all the turmoil in the off season, for you, what's a win for the MLR this year? Like, how does this league rebound from a dismal off season?
Uh, get through the season without any teams folding, get to next season without any teams folding, and have the championship game at least three quarters full.
Yeah, it, in Chicago last time they announced 10,000. I did not think that was the case.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
anyway, um,
Yeah. And then
yeah,
another
getting
thing
through without
is,
that, no scandals would be good. No major injuries to any sort of budding stars. That'll be nice. More butts in the seats. And I think, is it actually on ESPN that they're going to be doing the Sunday
yes,
night rugby?
that's what I was about to bring up.
Yeah,
If the Sunday night rugby thing actually draws decent viewership, I'd take that as a win.
yeah,
Because it would kind of force ESPN to actually try.
yeah.
They didn't do last year.
Will Hooley seems very excited about it, but I
Mhm.
can't tell if it's smoke and mirrors.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like there's another sport that's often played on Sunday evenings in America.
Yes. Yes.
Um, By the way, the MLR schedule, as it's listed, it's frustratingly weird. So, with only 6 teams, somehow there's only one fixture listed as round one. Don't even ask me about it. But that will be March 28th when the new look California Legion face off against a team that hasn't won a game yet in MLR Anthem. Kolya, I think the California Legion thing is my least favorite development of the last several months, at least in terms of rugby. Is this a doomed franchise?
I think it could work depending on how they decide to do it. So right now, it's kind of a traveling road show
Yeah,
that doesn't really have a home. But if they do this year and then next year decide, okay, we're going to base it out of this city for a while and have a couple games elsewhere, then it might work. But what I'd hope is that this is a 1 year thing and then it breaks back into maybe 3 teams.
interesting. That's the thing. In California, the distances between these home games is vast,
It's
you know?
huge. It's huge.
So it's pretty unrealistic to think somebody's going to be like, oh, yeah, I'm going to go to San Diego and then I'm also going to go to this other one.
Yes, yes.
And
I'd also,
Snapdragon was a great stadium.
yeah, yeah. I'd also like to see all the teams, but more specifically California, really tap into the college rugby system.
Yeah,
And maybe I know MLR is trying to make money, but give free tickets to college rugby players to get them to come to games. That
definitely.
that's how you build a fan base that way.
I wonder if they could find a way to, because the Sevens is so big in California too, and I wonder if there's a way to connect Sevens tournaments on game days for the, California Legion, something like that. I'm sure there are people thinking about this stuff, but I hope they figure it out because, you know, I I'm really sad about the Legion. Their fans were great. I'll never forget talking to some of those guys who traveled to the final in Chicago, and they're like, "Do you have any idea how hard it is to get a bronze sword past TSA?" True fans.
Yeah.
Um, Anyway,
Yeah.
I am feeling pretty positive about the Free Jacks this year. We've got a great squad. A four-peat, though, is almost impossible in any sport. So, and like I said, all the other teams will have our fixtures circled on their calendars. We don't have to deal with a weird Tuesday game this season. We don't even have a night game, which I like. I don't know. I'm actually pretty excited.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna support Chicago, but I also like what Seattle's doing with their social media and their fan engagement. They've been connecting with the other teams in the area,
Yep,
like the other professional teams in the area,
absolutely.
doing
The
all
Free Jacks
sorts
have
of
done that
social.
with limited success. Seattle, I think, is better at it. Yeah, if I wasn't a Free Jacks fan, I would definitely be a Seawolves fan. Like you said, the great social media. What's his name? Rucky the Seawolf.
Yeah,
He will write you back if you send him messages and stuff. And yeah, they do it
they
right.
definitely have
They're
the coolest mascot in MLR now that the Jackals are gone.
yeah. Damn. The, those two Texas teams losing. Dallas had just gotten really good. Houston had just gotten really good. I feel most for those fans. Like, if
Yes.
Anthem went away, people would be like, "What?" But Sabercats make it to a final and then disappear. That sucks.
Yeah.
Anyway, speaking of our domestic game, the WER is also on the cusp of a triumphant return. In fearful symmetry, all six of our inaugural teams are back. Denver put the rest of this competition to shame last year. Kolya, are you kind of expecting more of the same? Like my Banshees, I guess, should be in the running once again, but Denver Onyx, like if their squad remains even mostly intact, they should be a total powerhouse again.
I'm I'm predicting Denver to win it all again. I I have been, or I have a few friends in the Denver area, and I've been pushing the Onyx on them. And some of them have said that they're planning to go see a game. Others are still looking into it.
Yeah.
But it is like Denver's a really good sporting city. Like they support the Rockies of all teams.
Yeah.
Like despite them just
For a while, the Rockies were like, come see our games. Like the atmosphere is really thin, so the home runs will go really far.
yes,
It's like,
yes,
okay.
yes. But Denver winning the first year really kind of helps with that of
Yeah.
showing, hey, we're part of this winning ethos in the city.
Yeah. They're good on social media. They're an exciting squad. They play a really exciting brand. They're
Yeah,
explosive and they pretty much kicked everyone's butt.
yes. Yeah. What I
Uh
want to see though is closer games.
yeah. Yeah, that'll be nice. I think that's inevitable that will come. That's
Yeah.
like that's the reason I've never gotten into college football. Even when I was like watching a lot of NFL, I have such a bad neck. Like I'm like, oh, this college football matchup looks great, and then it's 7-63 at halftime, and I'm like, nope, not watching this. The rest of this. That's like Denver Onyx games have a possibility to go to that kind of thing.
Yes. Yes.
Um, I went and tried, really tried to find some compelling stats or storylines, though, and I was unable to do so. So, Kolya, as a coach and a person who can influence the next generation of rugby players and fans, can you maybe steer a few of them towards like website development and communications? Like this competition, it seems again mired in deafening silence. What can they and we do to get the word out?
So WER generally does a good job promoting, or at least their players do a good job promoting themselves.
Yeah,
I think it would be helpful if friend of the pod Alona Mar could go and maybe show up to a training with one of the teams. Like she was at a Celtic Challenge match last week.
really,
Yeah, she was at the Clovers Wolfhounds match.
really.
Yeah.
Oh man, how many people showed up? Was it announced?
I don't know,
Wow.
but that would be helpful. Them actually having a broadcast partner that people can find and watch is helpful.
Having an intern who could update the scores on the websites, that
Yes.
would, that would be nice.
Of
Um,
course, Rugby Europe's been doing that for 10 years.
which is on Flow, by the way. There's been some great European rugby, but not really our purview here. I do want to just take a moment to remind all of you that liking and subscribing is the best way to help us grow. If you could tell a friend or two, that would be smashing. We are part of the Global Game On Network. We're incredibly grateful for your ongoing support. We're growing steadily on YouTube. We remain your one-stop shop for all things rugby. We've got Irish content, South African content. We've got the Women's Treehouse. So do yourself a favor, check it all out, and help us spread the word. We really do appreciate all of you. We're just over 1,500 subscribers on YouTube, but we're really hoping to sort of explode that number in 2026. So spread the word, like and subscribe, do all the things. And we thank you from the bottoms of our cold, shriveled hearts as we limp out of this winter. So, getting back to it, the PWR, the Premiership women's rugby competition in England is heating up as it heads into the final stretch of the 2025-26 regular season. Why do we want to talk about the PWR on an American show? Well, because all the best PWR players are American, as we all know. Following the action in round 13, the hierarchy at the top is becoming very clear, though the battle for the final semifinal spots remains a scramble. Saracens are tied with Gloucester Hartbury on 55 points, though the reigning champs are undefeated and have a game in hand. Both Saracens and Gloucester Hartbury faced top four opponents this past weekend and secured convincing bonus point wins. Saracens dismantled Harlequins 43 to 26, while Gloucester Hartbury handled Exeter Chiefs 38 to 20. As we said, the American presence in the PWR remains a major storyline, particularly with several key players moving to new clubs this season. Lev Kelter, she's been destroying it for my Loughborough Lightning. She's averaging nearly 5 points per match, which somehow only scratches the surface of her contributions. Erica Gerald Cersei, she's been a revelation at Sale Sharks. This weekend, she scored a 65th minute try that essentially broke the game open for Sale, leading them to a 31 to 29 victory. Kolya, you've followed this competition pretty closely. What are your thoughts as we head into the home stretch?
Erica Gerald Cersei is a phenomenon right now.
Yeah, could be my favorite player.
Yeah, there's a few we're going to talk about when we get to sevens later, but she is the American rugby commodity right now. I
Yeah.
feel she is doing really, really well.
So if we glance over at the international stage, I honestly can't find a whiff of any fixtures for our men in the foreseeable future. Am I missing anything? Is there like a secret website I haven't found?
I haven't seen anything. I heard noise about there being a women's match on the same day as a men's match, but I
Oh
can't find
yeah.
it right now.
And don't we go to Scotland again this summer or something? Maybe not. Um, anyway, again, another plea to the listeners. If you happen to have insights that we don't, we would love to hear about it. Just get in touch. It's really easy. For the women, though, the Pacific Four series will be back next month. It should be intense for newer fans. The Pac 4 launched in 2021 and has rapidly become one of the most critical series in the international women's rugby calendar. It serves not just as a standalone trophy, but as the primary pathway for the WXV, World Rugby's global tier system and World Cup qualification for USA and Canada in particular. Out of the 5 iterations we've seen thus far, the Black Ferns of New Zealand have won 3, Canada have won 2, and our Eagles and the Wallabies are still hunting for that first crown. Kolya, Canada are the highest ranked team coming into the 2026 Pac 4, immediately followed by New Zealand. And don't look now, but Australia are only ranked one place higher than the USA. What are your thoughts as we head into this tournament? There's potential for a lot of upheaval in the rankings. Do you see any shakeups on the horizon?
I'm really excited and sorry if you can hear my kids in the back. I am in a hotel in Pittsburgh. So,
That's okay.
so the I'm really looking forward to this competition. It should be pretty even. I want to see what our new coaching staff does with the team because remember that happened after the World Cup, and this would be the first time we've seen this new system. So I'm
It's
looking
true.
forward to that. I'm looking forward to seeing Canada. I want to see how New Zealand especially bounces back
Yeah.
because not even getting to the final is not going to make them happy.
No. After a crazy weekend in the men's Six Nations, one upset can completely turn this tournament on its head especially with just 4 teams.
Yeah,
One upset could really change the complexion.
yeah. And then I want to see, and this has very little to do actually with rugby. I want to see an explanation of the little opening sequence for the pack four
Oh,
because it makes
the
no sense.
animated Poseidon-like gods and
Yes,
stuff.
yes. Why is Poseidon there? Are we Poseidon? Because the other ones seem connected with a team.
Oh yeah.
And
I
then
hadn't
there's
even thought of that.
Poseidon.
Are you saying we need to add Greece to this competition?
I think that's what they're saying.
I honestly hadn't even thought of that. Oh, by the way, I've been saying for a while, like the idea that they're like, we want to have these four teams play. What connects them? Oh, yeah, this giant ocean. It's like, yeah, I guess technically they are all touching the Pacific Ocean, but they're not in the same hemisphere.
Yes.
They could just call it the Earth Four.
Yes.
Boy, the Poseidon thing is really funny. I wonder if, I mean, that was last year. I don't know if they're going to do it every time. So,
Yeah.
there could be somebody scrambling at his computer right now. Go, oh crap! Why did I make it Poseidon? Got to change the trident to something else.
Yeah.
Um, I am happy to sort of finish up on some good news. Our Eagles have been doing very well in the new Sevens series, both for our men and our women. By the way, anyone who missed it, the Sevens 2 series from Nairobi this weekend was incredibly exciting, and our men did really, really well. Germany kind of pooped in the punch bowl a little bit for us. Otherwise, we could have taken home the trophy, but it was still, whew, anytime you can see Kenyan rugby, I strongly encourage it. Um,
Uh, can
However,
I can I ask,
yeah, yeah,
does the sevens two format make any sense to you? Because to
it
me it
did.
doesn't.
Yeah, it kind of does. Once again, like the MLR press release about the ref thing, the phraseology is so obtuse and convoluted. It's like they're trying to not let you understand it.
Yes.
But it's that the series is going to evolve, and I think that maybe the top two out of the Sevens two are going to be added to the bigger series as we conclude the final rounds of that. I think. I managed to sit there and suck it up and look through the whole thing once and thought I understood it. But of course, now that I'm on the spot, I can't
Yeah.
think of
Yeah.
exactly how it goes.
I know the second round of it is going to be in 2 weeks. You were actually watching the tape delay this past weekend.
Yes. And thank you for pointing me towards the full sevens. I completely forgot that Vancouver was this weekend. And as we know, Paramount is terrible about posting the replays. But because you told me in time, I was able to start it, pause it, and then back it up like 7 hours so you
Yes.
can watch. And it actually let me. So total win.
Yeah. Yeah. And speaking of sevens in Vancouver, the US finally got a podium place on this or for this season.
They did.
Fully deserved, I thought.
It was incredible. Our women are solidly in third place in the overall rankings as well. After five legs, we landed at fifth, fourth, and fourth three times in a row, and now third just this past weekend. Our best performance by far, and a statement across the international stage. Um, our women are killing it this year. Kolya, even with a raft of new faces and a noticeable absence of familiar superstars, like, what are your thoughts on the state of the program? Are we overachieving? Do you think it's realistic to envision getting an upset over Australia or New Zealand?
I think it's a little too far for this year.
Hmm.
I think we're building to doing that consistently next year. I think there's a lot of players who are new to sevens.
Yeah.
For one of them who was a breakout at this pat or in Vancouver, new to rugby, like Kaylin Thomas,
Yes.
has only been playing rugby for a couple of years, I think.
Yep. And even Ariana Ramsey, Koulibaly, I think, is at the very, very base of what she can become too.
Yeah. Ibarra.
Yeah, we've got really exciting new faces. And then the captain came back, Sammy Sullivan was back and
Yeah.
absolutely tore it up. Watching Sammy play defense is one of my favorite things. Anytime there's a breakaway and it's like, oh, she's clear, I want to say, maybe not. Take a look way back there. Sammy might be gunning for you.
Yeah. And what I do want to bring up, and here's my hot take of the podcast
Ooh,
for this time. The women's sevens for this set of the tournament has been much more palatable than the men's. Like it looks like for a lot of the men's, they are just doing like jouet the whole time,
mm,
and there's no real structure to it at all for a lot of the games.
I totally agree.
Whereas for the women, you can see that there has been thought put into a lot of this. And maybe I'm doing the men harsh on this, and it's supposed to look like this, but it looks more like the men's for this season are just kind of, with the exception of a couple teams, just kind of going out there and playing by talent. Like this really showed up in the Spain Fiji match, and then in the final with the Spain South Africa, where like it, it the Spain South Africa match was just bad sevens rugby.
Yeah. I'm kind of glad you mentioned this because I totally agree, and I've never been able to put my finger on why. I like women's sevens so much more than the men's sevens. I'll watch both, but
Mm.
if I'm going to be skipping matches here and there, it's always going to be the men's matches. It's kind of the same with tennis. I prefer women's tennis to men's tennis, and once again, I couldn't give you a list of 5 reasons why. It's just a feeling.
Mhm. Yeah,
But these
and
Eagles are special. I was worried with the absence of a lot of people. I was thinking, uh-oh, this could be, a rebuilding year or something like that. And it doesn't look like it. It looks like we're,
yeah,
or if it is, we're rebuilding at a great rate because every
yeah.
week pretty much is getting better.
This isn't a rebuilding year. This is a building year, is
Yeah.
what I'm saying. Like, like it doesn't look like, or it looks kind of more like we're reloading and getting ready
Yeah.
than starting from scratch.
It's funny. I don't know how closely you follow, like Six Nations. The squad, the overall squad that Galtier picked for France, leaving out a lot of really key names. People were really scratching their heads, and now all of a sudden there's this consensus that, oh, he cracked the code. He's figured out how to have ultimate depth because he can be without these big names and still be one of the best teams in the entire world. And having three people at every position who are at the top is just an invincible place to be.
I like the idea. Part, or I think part of the problem with that we're seeing this past weekend where Scotland kind of demolished them. The scoreline did not reflect that match.
Mm, it did not. Though, things just happen. Scotland had their absolute A game and France had an off day. It happens.
Yeah.
Anyway, the next leg of the Sevens World Series comes to quote New York unquote for the first time. It's just in a few days. I'm thrilled to say that I'm going to be there. It'll be my first big Sevens live event. I'm completely stoked. I have a a specific thing I'm going to be wearing on day two that I think I'm going to go ahead and guarantee will get the camera to find me. I'm not even going to describe it because you're going to be like, there he is.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm also hoping to
Hopefully
chat
it
with Sammy
shows up.
Sullivan again soon.
Yeah. Hopefully it shows up. Maybe they'll interview you.
Like, who's this idiot? Kolya, it's been too long. I love getting the chance to chat USA Rugby once again, and to have some positives to talk about before we call full lid any grassroots rugby you got for us this week.
So I've got two things. One from a little ways back in early February, a bunch of people in the Houston area got together for an investor meeting in order to drum up support for possibly bringing back a team to Houston. All
Ooh,
accounts, it went well. From all accounts I heard afterwards, it went well. I don't think anything's going to happen for next year, but maybe in a couple of years.
I'm curious if because there's got to be historic precedent for this. If there's a team in a city and then the team goes kapoof, and all those fans who've purchased the merch and have gone to the games and put their hearts into it, those fans are crushed. If then 3 years later that team says, "Hey, we're back," are those fans likely to say, "Oh, thank God they're back. We have our team back," or are they likely to be like, "Uh-uh, no, not again."
Cleveland Browns.
And they're always terrible. And yet the fans,
Yeah.
well, no, the fans aren't coming so much now, I'm told. But Deshaun Watson's going to be on the roster again next year. So what could possibly go wrong?
And then my second bit of grassroots, because I'm in the Pittsburgh area, thought I'd bring up something in this happening in this area for grassroots. The the Allegheny Rugby Union's Cowboy Sevens is happening this weekend in Butler, PA.
Oh, that
It
sounds
is
fun.
it is a bunch of college teams from the greater kind of Midwest, Mid-Atlantic area, going from Virginia over to Ohio. And
Does Penn State have rugby?
what
Does Penn State have rugby? I feel like they must.
they do.
Do all the Ivies have
I
rugby?
think all the Ivies have it. I think they're split into different things. There's of course NCR, but there's also like D1A and things.
Hmm.
So like, D1A is having its actual season right now, and number one just played number two this past weekend.
Do Canadian schools like McGill play Canadian teams or Canadian schools, or do they also integrate?
I am unsure about that. I am I am unsure.
I think they McGill has one of the oldest programs in North America.
Yeah.
Anyway, Kolya, as always, this has been fantastic. Thank you so much for your time and your insights. Thanks to Lee, Hugh, and all the folks at the Wrap and all our sister pods. Until next time, from all of us here at the Wall Street Journal, cheers. Thanks to you all, and be well.